Not that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm your host, Mike Matthews. Broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
the last place on earth. Cafe Anyway, it's episode 1807 rather. 1807, that's so awesome. And look at me, I'm not going to rhyme 7 with heaven because everybody does that. Such a great song. Last show, well, I didn't do one.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Monday, I did not do a show because I was so shot, bushed, tired. So this show should be
Mike's
exciting.
Daily
I might be like a woman
Podcast.
in a BART car,
Yeah!
Bay Area Rapid Transit car, yelling things that make no sense whatsoever. That's what I might be doing on today's show. Why should I make sense? That's so boring. I don't want to be boring. I want to be an interesting type show person. I know people that do talk shows, and their voices are so syrupy, and they try to speak in warm, radio-esque tones, and they basically bore the crap out of you. It's like, please, give me a little something. Give me a little personality. Give me a little happy. Don't give me that crap. So the last show I was in Podcastro Valley 10. This show we are back in Podcastro Valley, where there's going to be a conference of preachers, church folk, ministers, etc. that I'm going to be involved with about a week from Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting. I've never done this before. It happens not too far away from my house, so I'm like, this is going to be great. And I get paid. Woohoo! So yeah, speaking of yelling women in a BART.
And here's today's podcast picture.
That young lady was yelling, here's today's podcast picture. Today is not a podcast picture of, you know, what? The yelling woman in a BART. It is, in fact, though, of the beautiful waters that are in the bay. The Carquinez Strait, I believe is what it is called. And that's the Carquinez Bridge in Benita, where I hope to go this weekend, but it doesn't look like I am because it looks like the weather's going to be crap. At any rate, I love going to Benita. I love going to this one spot. Basil. And I like to always take Basil to Benita whenever I go. Right now, he is making that noise. Well, that noise he just made was back when he was about, 3 or 4. And now he's a very wise 11. He's sitting on a couch here at Cafe Anyway. So, yes, a yelling woman on a BART. Whenever you get on a BART car, whenever you get on a train, you never know which one. Sometimes you think you know, but you're wrong. Which woman is going to start screaming at the top of her lungs some weird gibberish? I tried to write down what this woman was saying. Something about, they got the herbs, get off the train. And yeah, what does that mean? Get the herbs, get off the train. What is it, herbs? There's a ton of herb on BART trains. Always, you can smell it. It stinks. But yeah, this woman was yelling. And what did I find out from all of this, from yelling women on BART trains, is that, well, we all have something to say. And we shouldn't say it in a boring way. We shouldn't bore each other. We should remember that the audience listening has had a long day. They've had a lot to do. And as much as I've had to do, it doesn't compare to what you've had to do. So I try to make it not boring, this show. I don't try to make it boring. I don't. So this guy, I used a boring transition there, I know. But this guy I know wants to do something boring, and that is retire. Everybody dreams of retiring. Okay, so let me be straight and honest with you and open up this vein and be quite brutally clear to you about something, and that is Basil just shook his head. I don't know if you heard that, but yes, Basil, I'm being very clear and open and honest. I'm going to tell you that I have thought often in my life about giving. Here's the deal: is I've been the producer for a lot of financial talk show hosts, and they give fantastic advice, and I've written down a lot of it, and a lot of it I've taken to heart. And you know what? Some of it I hear and I go, no. There are these two guys that I have produced a show for many years now, and they are always talking about helping people get to retirement, which to me, that's a boring phrase, get to retirement. Someday you just decide to retire. You should make a plan. You shouldn't just suddenly go, oh, I'm retiring, and not have any money in the bank or not have thought out where your money's going to come from. At some point, yes, of course, it's common sense. It's going to dry up if you don't have a job or don't have some way of making money. But people think about retirement, and I'm going to be honest with you. I spent some time not working. I took off, and I know, and I'm not the only person. Well, I was in my 40s when I did it. Okay, I spent some time not working, as in I wasn't even looking for a job, and I just did some time relaxing, and we should all get that chance, because, well, it turned from relaxing to, oh shoot, I gotta get a job, to, oh wait, what is it that I really want to do, to what is it that I enjoy doing, to can I make money doing that, to I guess I can't make money podcasting, to let me think of something else, to finally, well, I'm doing something now that I enjoy doing. But I was talking to a guy who wants to retire, as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, and he wants to do it in like 5 years. And I thought, I didn't say this to him, but I really wanted to say, look, I've been retired, quote unquote, for a while. I retired thinking perhaps that I would maybe never have to work again. Although I never said never. In my mind, I was hoping I would work again. But I was thinking maybe I could maybe I could be a non-worker for a while, which you don't want to do that. Here's what I'm trying to say, is that your brain turns to mush. Forget about your bank account. Forget about the fact that you don't make any money. Forget about how scary that is. No, forget all that, and remember, your brain turns to mush. It does. And the one guy that I do a show for, who does a financial show, he gets it, and he talks about how, because he's worked with so many retirees, and a lot of them get divorces because they've been working their whole lives. They've been providing for their daughters, sons, wives, husbands, and suddenly it's all done. It stops, and they go, what the hell is my purpose? That job that annoys the crap out of you, you go, oh God, I don't want to see that guy or that woman today. That job sustains you. That job not only puts money in the bank, small as it may be, or huge as it may be, and if that's the case, way to go. But at the same time, there's meaning in your life. Let me tell you, this is something that used to bug the crap out of me when I was quote unquote retired. If I went to a party and I met people I never met before, you know what the very first question everybody asks you at a party is what do you do? They don't ask you, what did you do? What did you eat today? What kind of dog do you have? What's your favorite type of food? They ask you, what do you do? And then there is a very Christian element to this. I don't know if you're Christian or not, but if you are, and a lot of Americans are, there is this thing about if you're not working, you're not doing God's will. We're all put on this planet to fulfill our purpose. Well, I should say when I was retired, I was still podcasting. So in some way I was doing what I felt was my purpose. And even though I wasn't getting paid, when I did my podcasting, it was actually teaching me, as I was teaching myself how to podcast and how to use certain software, audio software, recording equipment. It was teaching me what my job that I do now does. I record a lot of people's podcasts now. And I know I work with similar equipment to what I was working at home doing. So, to sum up, don't be so hard on unless your job really sucks, unless it really brings you absolutely nothing, not even money. But still, there's something that sustains you, that gives you a purpose in your job. I was talking to someone recently who was having a birthday, and they were going, what is my purpose in life? Is this something that I want to do forever? And I go, wait a minute, what you do so well. There are not a lot of people on this planet that can do what you do. And I think, I was telling her, you should stay doing what you do. And she goes, yeah, I don't want to quit this job, but I maybe want to do some different element to I want to add some new element to it, maybe add something else that I like to dance. I want to add this to well, do it. That's a great idea, but don't give up. Don't quit the job. We've come so far. This is what I don't like. I don't like people telling you, oh, if you don't like what you're doing, you can change midstream. Life is short. Go and do what you want to do. There's also something to be said about dance with the one who brought you. Because if you can somehow use what you've been doing, what you've slaved over, maybe what you don't like doing anymore, if you can use that as a jumping off point, don't completely abandon it, burn it to the ground, sever the bridge with it or whatever, don't do that. But amplify, go interesting directions with it, but don't give it up completely. That's all I wanted to say today. Look, there's so many people here at Cafe Anyway. It's such a wonderful day. And I really want to thank you for being here today. I'm doing one of the South Park voices. The guy that was really politically incorrect with the crutches. I'm going to stop now and say hi to these characters.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, Jeff Supervisor. I don't know who you're talking about.
What?
I don't know who you were talking about.
Oh, I didn't mean to say what so loudly. I just didn't hear what you're saying.
I know, Mike Matthews.
It was that one that's a comedian, but he's handicapped. It was terrible. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Whenever Floyd talks, he makes Basil look a little bit nervous. Yeah, he does a little bit. All right, I had a couple other notes that I jotted down while I was on BART. And that is, I do not like, speaking of BART, the people that just fly right through the emergency BART doors. Where you go to pay for your BART when you tap your Clipper card or insert the Clipper or whatever thing you use. I do not like how people just fly right through that emergency BART door. So many people do it. It's becoming commonplace, and nobody's doing anything to stop them. It says on some of these doors that going through this without paying is a violation. I don't know. It's terrible. One of the terrible things in the Bay Area. Also today, here's something terrible that happened in the Bay Area. So I'm walking to my job. I take BART to work, and then I walk the rest of the way. It's about 1.5 miles to get to work. About 1 mile, actually, to get from the BART station to my job. And as I'm walking, I had a couple of papers that I had read, and I was sticking them in a recycle bin. It was a big recycle bin, and I was putting it in there, and a car starts to drive by, and I'm thinking, oh, this is someone who's going to tell me you can't put stuff in that bin. That's a private bin. What the hell? Instead, it's a woman, and she rolls down her window, and she looks at me, and she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a homeless man. Oh. And I said to her, I only have one plastic bag that I'm carrying. What are you? Huh? But it's Fremont. There's a lot of homeless people in Fremont. And finally, speaking of if you're going to do any walking from the BART station to your job or whatever, hey, don't use Fitbit. As I've said before, Fitbit is crap. I walked months and months with my Fitbit, and suddenly I realized one day it wasn't measuring or retaining any of the steps I had taken, and all those steps were lost. Use Google Fit. Yes, they are harvesting your information. Here's the thing, though. If they're that smart to be able to figure out a device that's absolutely free, that calculates how many steps you take, and you don't need to buy a stupid $800 piece of crap, and it's already something that you download for free on your smartphone, they can take my information. That's fine. All they're taking is that I walk to and from work, and they know where I work. Okay, big deal. I'm fine with that. These privacy advocates, or what I call Privocats, yeah, that's going to stick, Mike. Privocats annoy me. They're starting to get annoying. They're starting to be all, oh my God, like, oh, you know what? Mommy. Oh, real quick. And I obviously don't give a crap about privacy because I'm doing a podcast telling you all about my life. I had a dinner with my lovely lady friend tonight. She had to leave early because she had to go to a meeting that she was conducting. I had to stick around and finish up my soup. And this couple sits down next to me, a young gal who looks kind of like Christina Aguilera circa 1998, and then this good-looking guy, and they're sitting there, and I'm thinking, oh, these two are an item. But as I'm sitting there, and they're sitting really close to me, so I'm hearing their conversation, it turns out that it's a guy who's not interested in this girl. Instead, he is telling her all about these girls that he finds attractive. And she's going, And he is referring to this, this is what I found interesting about all this as I'm wrapping up the show, is he's saying, oh yeah, this girl, he didn't say any of these women that he's talking about that he's interested in are beautiful. He just says they're cute. Puppies are cute. That little plush doll you got is cute. Elves are cute. Not women. Women are beautiful. If you're attracted to a woman, they're beautiful. They're intoxicating. They're magical. They're not cute. I hate that term, cute. He's cute. She's cute. That's stupid. Anyway, it turns out, Cafe anyway, she seemed to be interested in him, and he was not picking up what she was throwing down, if you catch my drift. So I don't know. I hope that whole thing works out, and that he doesn't use her and be an idiot like that. But I do know they were starting to get sake bombs, so that's not a good thing. Anyway, let's wrap up the show. Thank you. I hope you found it an interesting show and not boring. Enjoy your plush doll or whatever you're with, or whoever you're with, or whatever you're doing. Stick with your job and be there, and things will get better. Next show, it'll be the wonderful, that's my motivation for you, my motivational speech. It'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thank you.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!